San Francisco 49ers fans, yeah. Yeah, Niners faithful, that's what I'm talking about. You deserve that. You deserve that victory on Thursday Night Football against the Rams. Hey, let's talk about that though. The Niners won 26-23. Let me just break it down a little bit. Let's just talk about some overall takeaways from that game. Number one, the Niners appear to be the real deal, right? I didn't know if they were, because I didn't necessarily believe as much in their offensive line and the Niners offensive line. Then maybe they should. Maybe they have earned more faith, right? But these Niners appear to be real this year, and or this season, and that's actually sort of saying a lot because of the toll the injuries have already taken, and the fact that the Niners didn't go out and sign, no marquee additions, right? There's nobody. The Niners are basically this offseason, they tried to re-sign a couple real core players, a few core players, Brock Purdy, Kyle Juszczyk, I think, and then draft, right? Go younger. And so far, that has absolutely paid off. It hasn't paid off in the injury front yet, right? But it's paid off with the Niners record. They're doing well this season. Who stood out? What a game. What a game from Mac Jones. Again, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. The good news is that the Niners quarterback room, I've said this in the past, I keep on saying this season, it's amazing. This is easily one of the better quarterback rooms in the league. And I keep on including Curtis Rourke. I really think that Curtis Rourke is going to be good. Hasn't played it down yet in the pros yet, right? He's the Niners rookie from Indiana who's sort of redshirting this year because of an injured knee. But Mac Jones has looked absolutely incredible. I can't say enough about him. And this is tough. But Mac Jones, well, this is good. Good news. Mac Jones gives the Niners a chance in any game. I believe even in the playoffs. I think that Mac Jones at least gives you a shot at quarterback. The bad news is that you can only play one quarterback, and that Brock is ahead of him. Brock Purdy has earned that starting spot. He's being paid so he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league since he's been in. But in my opinion, if you ask me if you want me to give you a C-Train omelet, I'm gonna let you know. I absolutely believe that Mac Jones fits Kyle Shanahan's offense by far better than Brock Purdy. This is the reason why. It's only for this reason. Brock Purdy will scramble and extend plays and create that X factor that sort of is the scramble. Okay. Mac Jones doesn't do that as much. Mac Jones is definitely more like he'll get a few yards and then he'll get down. Mac Jones is more of like that Joe Burrow. If he sees a pocket to run, he'll run, try to get as many and then he'll get down. Statistically, either checking the check down, which I believe Mac Jones does a lot more of, specifically to Christian McCaffrey, right, in the last few weeks. I think that, statistically, the check down is the higher rate. It's better. It statistically has a greater chance of success than all the scrambles. So, and they did a study on this. So, like last season, Tom Brady was like, he's like, the more efficient thing for a quarterback to do is to check down or just get rid of or throw the ball away. That's what the offense is meant to do. The offense is meant for you to either check down or throw the ball away. It's not meant for you to scramble. So stop. Right now, with Brock Purdy, he put in his Rolodex or whatever you call it, in his triage when he's looking at plays, Brock Purdy, it's like he can check the ball, or he can scramble and do some stuff, or he can throw the ball away. Well, that progression it is less efficient than checking the ball down or throwing the ball away. They've actually done lots of studies about that scramble. Statistically, it is less efficient. So I know you like Lamar Jackson fans and Russell Wilson, it stinks to say, but the more efficient thing, the most efficient play is the check down or to just get rid of the ball. So that's the only reason. That's the reason why, in my opinion, Mac Jones is a better fit in Kyle Shanahan's offense than Brock Purdy, because he'll check the ball down or throw the ball away. There's no ad-libbing using your legs, because technically that is seriously, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that it's less effective statistically and that it's the worst option. So, but it is. And I can I see that a little bit though. I see that when we look at Mac Jones' efficiency and how those checkdowns really work, right? Because I think Christian McCaffrey had like 10 receptions for 82 yards, so that's 8 yards a clip. So it's like, yeah, so okay, got it. When Mac Jones is like checking down, the Niners are on average getting a first down. I like that. I like that a lot. So props to Mac Jones. I think that Brock Purdy could learn a little bit from Mac Jones in this instance about just going through those progressions on offense and then just checking down. No problem at all. Learn to fight another way. Also, live to fight another day. That's what it is. I have to say this. Did Brock Purdy get injured off of a scramble where he was extending the play? I believe so. I believe that Brock Purdy's toe injury came from when he was either extending the play or from when he was scrambling near the sideline and got tackled. Got it. If he checks down, would he have gotten tackled? No. But who's to say, right? That's all hypothetical. However, it is something to note that I believe that he actually got injured off of extending the play, which is the statistically not the right move. Interesting, right? There's only one Brock. There's only one Mac, but I love Brock Purdy. Don't get me wrong. Brock Purdy can absolutely lead the Niners, and he can be the quarterback on a Super Bowl winning Niners team. No problem at all. But it's just, you have to see how Mac Jones is doing and why he's doing so well. Man, those checkdowns, he's so effective in the progression and the use of the check down. I absolutely love it. Troll or spam the check down. I dig it. Make somebody stop you. Kendrick Bourne, 10 receptions, 142 yards. What? Little did we know this. Little did the Rams know this, in my opinion as well. That, I mean, of course they knew this, but it's like Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne played together years ago. I believe like 2 years ago on the New England Patriots. And they had a pretty good season together, I believe. That was just reborn and actualized with the San Francisco 49ers. And we all got to see it live on Thursday night. I loved Kendrick Bourne's performance. I have told you, I guarantee you that Kendrick Bourne will drop a ball or two. I guarantee you that he'll drop a big play ball or two. But also he has a stick-to-itness, and it's like Kendrick Bourne means well. And when he does how he means, well, he gets 10 receptions for 142 yards. I absolutely love that. Props to Kendrick Bourne for stepping up. Credit where credit is due. He could have disappeared and he emerged. They were staggering at the end. The coaches were like staggering when to take him out of the game and put him back in. He was making that many plays for the Niners. CMC, Christian McCaffrey was a workhorse yet again. I love what Christian McCaffrey is doing. I don't think he can keep it up. One more time, I do not think that Christian McCaffrey can sustain what he is doing for a full season. I don't think it's healthy for anybody to do that. I believe in Christian McCaffrey's success. That what can we glean from that as well? I would love for us, in his success, for the Niners to really start to get Brian Robinson going and give Jordan James a few carries. Give Jordan James and Brian Robinson a few carries right now. Why? Because I believe it is when and not if Christian McCaffrey gets injured, then what? Seriously. So, go to the future, and now I'm saying, hey, Christian McCaffrey, he's out with a nick, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe out for like a game or two or something. Hey, good thing we gave Jordan James and Brian Robinson a few carries weeks ago when I freaking said it, when we said it for them too. the Niners need to spare Christian McCaffrey a little bit and save him from himself. He's leading like the league in touches, a lot of touches for a soon 30 years. Is he 30 years old? And I just don't see the reason or rhyme to it. I see why he is utilized in the passing game. I don't know why the Niners can't bang a little bit more with Brian Robinson or Jordan James. Jordan James is your X factor, y'all. I really like what he potentially could bring to the table with the Niners. And it's like he's got like Bucky Irving type life in his legs. It comes from U of O as well. And he finishes his runs and he doesn't fumble a lot. I don't think he fumbles. So give somebody else, spare Christian McCaffrey a few. He's winning us these games right now. We need to stack wins. I love it, but spare him just a little bit, Hear me out. So let's see, 49ers offensive line. So the Niners offensive line, I chose the Rams to win 27-17. The Niners won 26-23. I thought that the Niners, it's like the Niners offensive line looks worse than they are. And that continues because it's like they gave up only 1 sack. Statistically, the Niners offensive line are one of the better offensive lines in the league. So it's like Christian McCaffrey he doesn't average that many yards per carry, but the Niners offensive line is more or less holding up and they're not killing them with penalties that many or anything like that. So they get a pass. The Niners offensive line gets a pass where I thought they would be the weak link. Niners defense, these guys just don't know the meaning of quit. Although Marcus Siegel, he occasionally gets beat, he's never quit. And I love that in Marcus Siegel. And the defense, the defensive line, stop it. Stop the tape. Alfred Collins needs to be locked away. Get him. Alfred Collins, with the play of the season so far for the San Francisco 49ers, did you see his fumble, his strip, and then recovery of Kyren Williams on like the 1 yard line? Alfred Collins made big plays, and he is a big man, and I love all of that. Alfred Collins, he was injured, injured a little bit this offseason, didn't go through camp, didn't have a clean preseason. He's stepping it up. Alfred Collins had every reason, every excuse to phone it in, a little bit like how sort of Javon Kinlaw phoned it in. He had the injuries too as well, right? But like, he's really starting to emerge, Alfred Collins, and I love that. I love the activity for the big man. He was in on some big plays. He made the defensive play of the game. And I think sky's the limit for this Niners defensive line. Not sky's the limit, but they have the potential to be really, really good. Really good. Demo Lenore, he continues a fantastic season at cornerback. Well done. He hasn't really put a wrong foot in there so far, so I love that. Fred Warner is one of the better defensive players maybe that I've seen in a long time. I think that it's important that the Niners give players, specifically Fred Warner, give Fred Warner that shot that he deserves, that shot at the playoffs and at a Lombardi trophy, which is why I fully expect the Niners to be active in the trade market. So let's look beyond now. Let's look ahead a little bit. I think that the Niners in the trade market need to be active. I think they will be. So I actually think that the Niners need more than just one defensive player. I think they need more than just 2 defensive players. I think that they need a few things. Let me just enlighten you real quick. I think the Niners should try to acquire defensive lineman Cam Jordan from the New Orleans Saints, and hopefully they can get him for like pennies on the dollar for real cheap, and either Kayvon Thibodeau or Bradley Chubb. The Niners, I believe, are more than one defensive lineman away from really competing. They need to put pressure on the quarterback. They have to start to really put pressure on the quarterback. They didn't manufacture much, even last game, right? So I think that Cam Jordan and either Kayvon Thibodeau as the real rusher or Bradley Chubb as that true pass rusher is so needed. I believe like Jonathan, there's a Simmons from Tennessee. I like Cam Jordan as a veteran who can really come in and understand what it takes to win. I really like Thibodeau or Bradley Chubb. I like Bradley Chubb because he is productive and has that role and is in his physical prime, 29 years old right now. But in addition, I really think, and I said this in the past, and I really think that the Niners, okay, this stinks to say, and it's a weird analogy. The Warriors, the Golden State Warriors basketball, they just got like a big man, Al Horford, who is super skilled. And like it sort of opens up and unlocks things for the team. Stop. I think that the Niners need to acquire a tight end who can unlock, a tight end would unlock every level of the field on offense. And they don't need it, but I really think the Niners should strongly consider specifically Mark Andrews. I think that Mark Andrews would do a crazy amount of damage at any level opposite George Kittle. And I think that Jake Tonges has done such a good job that I don't think that the Niners will look for one. So I think that he's done a good enough job, the Niners tight end that they have right now, right out of Cal. But I think that the Niners should look for more because of how two tight ends unlocks an offense. I know that's like weird. Specifically Kyle Shanahan's offense, two tight ends unlock the whole thing. It's only, you have to see it to believe it, honestly. So, and we haven't seen it yet. I'll let you know if the Niners really, if they go for it with a tight end, you'll see. You'll really see. But another tight end, two tight ends really unlocks what Kyle Shanahan does because of the motion, because of the access to blocking as opposed to receiving, and you never know what a tight end's going to do in the Kyle Shanahan offense. Just remember that I said that. So finally, we have to give Kyle Shanahan his flowers. We must give Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan his credit. Why? Specifically me, because I've made video after video multiple times criticizing Kyle Shanahan. How about this? Right now, no other coach in the league is doing as good. Kyle Shanahan is doing as well as any coach in the league at coaching his squad. I believe that getting an upper echelon defensive coordinator and taking some of those play calling duties, technically I think Kyle Shanahan isn't the play caller right now for the Niners. I love that. The more you can support. So I'll say this. If the Niners can get Mike McDaniel, if he gets fired by Miami, if they can bring him in, I think that will unlock Kyle Shanahan even more, and I would put him for the front runner of Coach of the Year. I'd be surprised if he doesn't win Coach of the Year. And that's a dude who's criticizing him so much. Because I've always believed that Kyle Shanahan can't focus on a big team. I think that Kyle Shanahan needs coaches around him to amplify him, and that if he is allowed to allow his offensive talents and view on that side of the ball to really be amplified because he's allowed to, because he doesn't have to worry about anything else, Kyle Shanahan is one of the most dangerous offensive coaches in football. Well done. Malik Mustafa's activated. His practice window is activated. Hopefully we see number 6 back with the Niners this next weekend. They're still sort of an injury crew, and it's going to be a difficult game. The Bucs are red hot, one of the hottest teams in the league. Baker Mayfield is one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league. Just destroyed the Seattle Seahawks. So Baker Mayfield did, not the whole team, but it's going to be a great game this weekend. Look forward to it. Of course, we'll get more predictions and whatnot. Like as the game, hey, this is Monday. Let's give it some time, baby. Let's give it a day or two. No, as my walking comes through. Hey, let's give it a day or two. Let's look at the injury report. See if the Niners make a trade even. Who knows? Of course, we'll have my preview and prediction of the Bucs game. That'll be later on this week. Of course, for your San Francisco 49ers content. Thanks again for watching, and like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time at C-Train Station. Have a good one.